What is up, YouTube? So this is your YouTube update for July 15th, 2021. Hope you're good. Hope you're healthy. Hope you're enjoying this upcoming weekend. So we'll see how long we get to this one. I hope I can make it over 2 minutes. But anyways, in this edition, we're talking about Trump's summer of lawsuits, the lead, America's reckoning. The lead child tax credit starts today. Fire, tornadoes, continued gas pains. House passes 760 billion transportation water bill, making its pitch on infrastructure. Lost luggage. San Jose residents defy orders, light fireworks. Yeah, she should have been here to see that. Jury duty gets me out of the house. In my case, I have my case manager signing me off, and I'm done. Deadly heat wave was what we just had, what Oregon, Washington had. Deadly heat wave, vaccines, Santa Clara County mandating workplaces to track employees' vaccine status. Transportation bullet train, Texas Essential Science, 1.6 billion. Electrical deal for Japanese style bullet train. VTA light rail is coming back to San Jose. I will explain that later. Uber fares have skyrocketed. Yeah, if you've taken Lyft or Uber lately, you know how rip-off they are. My normal ride is 23. Lately, if I do a scheduled ride, it's about 40. And if it's normal, minimum highest is 24. So right now I'm for Lyft because I just did my Lyft pass, which is $19.99 for so many rides a month, as well as I'm using the current promos, and the lowest I've got down to is for $14.99 for almost a 25-minute ride. So, yay Lyft. VTA to abandon the Eastridge Light Rail extension project. So typical. Probably cost overruns too. Environment, climate change, San Jose's dumping ground, which I'll explain. Stimulus, human infrastructure plan. You now update on mine. Okay. Broadcast schedule. Okay, so like this coming week, I'm pretty good this coming week as far as due now. The only I think I'm good. The only day I don't think I'm good is Thursday, but I have at least 4 days next week, so I'll definitely have more time to broadcast. So hashtag DRICKKEARLE10 and Mimith, hashtag Mimith _ 44890. Also hit me up on Instagram at DerekCurley4040, which is my main IG account. So follow me, message me. Let's see what's up. YouTube weather. August vacation is down there. I've kind of updated it because of COVID and waiting for stimulus to happen if that ever happens, which sounds like they're really trying to get it done before August. The impression is it's going to be between 1,000 to from 600, like in the beginning, from $600 to $2,000. That's all I have as far as that. I mean, plus the story I have in here. But so let's get on with the story. So, and this one, this is just today, of course. I've mixed some that are from today and some from that are from the past stories. The U.S. government began sending child tax credits today. Approximately 39 million families with 65 million children will receive tax credits. The tax credit was established in March with President Biden's American Rescue Plan. It gives a credit of $300 per month for children under 6 years old and $250 per month for children between the ages of 16 and 17 years old. This will be sent as monthly checks or deposits to families who have an income of $150,000 or less for 2 adults, or $75,000 or less for individuals. Families who make more than that and don't qualify for payments, but do qualify for credit on their taxes of $2,000 per child under the age of 17. So what would you do to make sure you qualify? Well, the IRS makes the determination, not you. It's based on your most recent tax return, which I'm still waiting for mine, which should be 2020 if you filed in time, or 2019 if you filed it for an extension. All monthly payments should now happen on the 15th, which is today, of every month until December. But President Biden is pushing hard for legislation that will make this permanent. We'll find out. And I'll also give you a work update at the end of this broadcast. Possibly we'll get 2 set of raises, and I'll explain why. And then I'll tell you my work schedule, and you figure out which days are my broadcast days and whatnot. So comment below. America's reckoning. Sorry. Hey. Sorry. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo says the Americans' aging population will hit the economy like a ton of bricks without increased federal aid. Most people rely on families to support them when they age. This disparately puts the burden on women, many of whom already left the workforce during the pandemic. Raimondo says this will bring economic recovery to a screeching halt. Raimondo is prompting President President Biden. Promoting President Biden's plan for $400 billion to be spent towards funding at-home care for elderly and disabled people and increased funding for caregivers. Democrats are planning to push this through the budget reconciliation since Republicans are not on board. And currently, a care worker here in California, last time I looked, makes $8 an hour. Former Republican Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, has been warning about the price tag that the aging boomer population will bring for decades. His solutions include cutting spending instead of increasing it. He says, Raimondo says, it's not so much that people are opposed, but the $400 billion is a lot of money, and they have questions that deserve good answers. Raimondo said. Mind you, this is a girl, so if I'm saying it wrong, I apologize, but that's the closest I get to that word. Continued gas pains. The price of gas across the U.S. is 97 cents higher than it was over a year ago and 5 cents higher than it was 2 weeks ago. And the international trade agreement has caused prices to continue to climb, but experts say that it should level out in the near future. The average gas price now is $3.21 per gallon, and petrol and $3.30 per gallon of diesel. The highest price in the nation is in San Francisco Bay Area, where petrol costs $4.39 per gallon, or, as I heard from a customer, if you go up to Tahoe, gas is $5 per gallon. Crude oil prices were responsible for the insatiably, but now the prices of crude oil have stabilized. Consumer prices should too, but don't expect them to go back down anytime soon. Fire tornadoes. As if California fires weren't scary enough, now that they're making something called the fire tornado. We wish this was just a Marvel character, but it's not. The severe drought and record temperatures in California has created the perfect condition for the rare fire tornado. It happens when a swirling wind is heated by smoke and become a vortex. These have been caught on video before, and they are apocalyptic. In 2018, a fire tornado in Canada sucked up a firehouse. Experts say that these fires continue to intensify and may expect more fire tornadoes. Temperatures in Death Valley, California reached 130 degrees on Sunday. And as of this Sunday, we're supposed to be 86 degrees supposedly. So at least another hot one for another 3 days. Once it starts. VTA is coming back to San Jose. Light rail commuters in San Jose might soon be able to catch a train again after service came to a halt in late May, according to a timeline released Thursday by VTA. The timeline includes 6 phases with a goal to resume light rail service by the end of July. The update came weeks after radio silence from VTA, which left many commuters frustrated. Quote, "We know our light rail passengers are eager to see the trains running again. We are too." The announcement of the timeline reads, light rail trains have sat idle in downtown San Jose since May 26 when a disgruntled VTA employee killed 9 of his colleagues before taking his own life. The mass shootings damaged buildings and computers necessary to the light rail operations, officials said. Last month, VTA launched a task force to oversee the mission of bringing the service back. Under the new plan, the VTA will relocate the light rail operation and ease traumatized employees back to work in phases. So now on to Donald Trump. Former President Donald Trump filed a lawsuit on Wednesday against Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube and the company's respective CEOs for banning him from their platforms. This is a proposed class action lawsuit which invites others to join if they have similarity harmed. After the January 6th Capitol riot, the platforms banned the former president, claiming that his heretic that the election was stolen had incited violence. This took away the former president's favorite megaphone. The lawsuit asks them to stop what he calls his illegal, shameful censorship of American people. This is not the first time he has been caught up in court. Judges typically dismiss suits like this. These social networks are public utilities. They are private companies. They are protected under the Communications Act of 1934 and allows websites to moderate user-generated content. The former president and the Republican Party launched aggressive fundraising efforts immediately after the lawsuit was announced. House passes a $760 billion transportation water bill, making its pitch on infrastructure. The House passed a roughly $760 billion transportation and water infrastructure bill Thursday, the measure that stakes out the chamber's position in a debate over how to rebuild the roads, bridges, transit networks, water pipes, and sewers. The package provides $343 billion for roads, bridges, and safety programs, $109 billion for transit agencies, $95 billion for rail. It also includes $117 billion for drinking water programs and $51 billion for wastewater infrastructure. Amendments adopted over 2 days of debate added at least $44 billion to the bill's price tag, mostly to support the adoption of electric vehicles. The bill passed 221 to 201, with 2 Republicans joining Democrats in support. Much of the debate over infrastructure has played out between President Biden and the negotiators in the Senate, who outlined a bipartisan plan last week, but Representative Peter A. DeFazio, Democratic of Oregon, chairman of the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, said this week the spending envisioned in the bipartisan plan and the House bill were close enough that he saw the potential for an agreement. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Democrat of California, said the House's Invest in America Act represents her chamber's effort to seize a moment-in-a-century opportunity to rebuild America's infrastructure while working to lift the middle class, help the environment, focus on equity. The bill, written by Democrats, is weighed more heavily in favor of rail than the bipartisan plan, while pitching less for roads. DeFazio said he could support more money for roads and hoped that they could encourage senators to back more money for trains. This is where aligning the dueling proposals could prove tricky. The White House has aggressively promoted the new Senate framework, but also has endorsed the House bill. Both sides of Congress remain divided on how money might be spent on how central climate change should be to infrastructure investments. During the housing debate, Republicans lined up to criticize the bill's environmental provisions. Congress typically takes up transportation funding bills every 5 years or so, approving federal programs that send money to state agencies to fund roads, buses, and rail lines. The most recent proposal was to set expire September 30th, but the infrastructure at the top of the White House's agenda this year will be taken on outsized significance. Sorry. I seriously need to wash these. In a sign of delicate dynamics between the chambers, Pelosi proposed the bipartisan framework while retaliating that the Senate bill embodying that framework would be taken up in the House after specifics of a separate far-reaching budget bill with the other priorities of President Biden's are clear. Senate Majority Leader Charles E. Schumer, Democrat of New York, leading efforts to draft the legislative text to transform the bipartisan infrastructure framework into a bill. Senate aides and drafters are stitching together contributions from key Senate committees, including elements of the bipartisan bill they have passed, as well as information from the 10 senators who reached the bipartisan deal and the Biden administration. Schumer has said he wants the Senate to consider both the bipartisan infrastructure bill and the broader partisan budget bill in July, given the time frame. DeFazio on Wednesday suggested the Senate leaders rely heavily on the House bill. The House bill includes measures designed to cut greenhouse gas emissions from transportation, to hold states accountable for emissions on their roads, and to promote electric cars and buses. It would require states to consider alternatives such as transit before widening highways, and promotes $14.5 billion for projects that would reduce carbon emissions or make transportation networks more resistant to extreme weather. The House voted to add to the bill $36 billion section on electric vehicles. It would fund charging infrastructure, provide grants to spur manufacturing, and set deadlines for the federal vehicle fleet to switch to zero-emission vehicles and plug-in hybrids. The bill's transit funding is aimed at reducing the maintenance backlog of helping agencies provide more regular service. The bill proposes tripling funding for Amtrak to $32 billion and includes a grant fund boosted to 30 billion that could be used to develop high-speed rail projects. It includes a $45 billion fund to replace all lead water lines across the country. And the White House issued a formal statement on support Monday for the Invest in Americans Act, saying, quote, lays a strong foundation for achieving the president's vision and infrastructure. At the same time, Biden traveled Wednesday to Wisconsin to promote the bipartisan framework. The White House says the approach also would fulfill its goals of improving the environment and creating new jobs, but details of how money would be spent haven't been filled in. He pointed to a $66 billion investment in passenger and freight rail that he said would reduce the largest source of pollution in American vehicle travel. Despite bipartisan support for increasing rail spending, leading Republicans have made it clear that they oppose any of the environmental rules in the House bill. The version of the bill that passed the House does not include revenue-raising provisions typically included to help fund transportation spending. DeFazio said he expected they would be ironed out once the House and Senate began working together on a final version of the bill. The bipartisan framework bill that passed the House does not include revenue-raising provisions. Sorry. Here I go again. I wasn't proofreading. The bipartisan framework includes ideas on how to cover the costs, such as ramping up tax enforcement, reusing coronavirus relief money, but experts have questioned whether those proposals would bring in enough money. Lost luggage. You know how airlines charge to check bags nowadays and sometimes still lose your luggage? That may be about to change. The U.S. Transportation Department has proposed new regulations that would force airlines to refund your baggage fee if they lose your bags. Not only that, they would have to refund other fees that you paid, such as in-flight Wi-Fi. As it is, they only have to refund your bag if the luggage is permanently lost, not delayed. That would apply to delays of more than 12 hours on domestic flights and 25 hours on international flights. That is expected to be mandated by executive order from Biden administration, but it does not mean that the airlines won't still lose your bags. It could mean that they can't keep your money if they do. The vaccine in your body. Santa Clara County mandating workplaces to track employees' vaccine status. Santa Clara County will require, which is my county, require employers to determine the vaccination status of the employers starting Wednesday as the state moves away from remote office work, aiming to get ahead of the wider June 15th reopening and potential revisions to workplace rules. The mandate appears to advance beyond what the state has so far required for employers, though California already allows businesses to use vaccine status to determine whether people may attend certain larger gatherings like sports, games, weddings, conferences, concerts, or theater shows. County Counsel James Williams told reporters Tuesday the requirement is part of the county's latest reopening order, and as it progresses into the yellow reopening tier, workplaces will no longer be required to maximize remote work, but they must begin determining whether employees have been vaccinated. The order also requires workplaces and schools to continue reporting COVID-19 cases. questions surrounding different protocols for vaccinated and unvaccinated people, including workers, have dodged California for weeks. Some states, including Florida, have made it illegal to ask for people's vaccination status in businesses and government agencies, while others have put the bonuses on businesses to find out whether patrons and staff are vaccinated. On a word. The California Department of Public Health has stopped short of making employers collect such information about their staff, even as they embrace the concept of vaccine passports. For many events and gatherings, the spokesperson did not immediately respond to a request for comment Tuesday afternoon as to whether the state will consider implementing a similar mandate. Officials emphasize that the new order does not That's right. Officials emphasize that the order does not mean that any employees must get the shots, although some workplaces may mandate vaccinations. Last month, for instance, the California State University and University of California system said that they would move forward with plans to require vaccination of all students, faculty, and staff before on-campus instruction starts in fall. Those who refuse to share that they've been vaccinated with the employer, however, must follow any future rules as though they are unvaccinated. The new requirement also comes amid discussions over vaccine-based masking in California after the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention did away with most mask mandates for vaccinated people. California has decided to keep their own stricter mask mandates in place until Governor Newsom's planned June 15th reopening. Until then, knowing who has gotten the shot will help businesses prepare for a continuing divergences between the vaccinated and unvaccinated, said Health Officer Dr. Sarah Cody. Transportation. Atop massive viaducts and bridges under construction for the bullet train in the San Juan Valley, the state has hung banners proudly proclaiming 5,000 workers and counting. The slogan's catchy, but misleading. According to the state rail authority, has never had anything near 5,000 construction workers on the high-speed rail project at any one time. The review by the Times also found other transportation programs generally employ more workers for every 1 million in spending. The banners are an important part of the campaign that the California High-Speed Rail Authority has waged to maintain political support, calling attention to the hourly jobs it has funded and the depressed economy of California's heartland. As the legislature girds for a battle over $4.2 billion appropriation needed this year for the bullet train, the jobs issue and the crucial political support of labor unions will play an outsized role in keeping the project rolling along. Under Governor Newsom, plans about 90% of the spending over the next 9 years will be in the Central Valley. This is a collision course with the majority of the state assembly that want to shift some of the spending to the bullet train in segments in Southern California and the Bay Area. Proponents led by Speaker Anthony Rendon, Democratic of Lakewood, said that the shift would bring transportation benefits to more people and much sooner, and most likely generate more jobs than focusing investment on Central Valley. The boast of 5,000 jobs refers to the number of workers displaced by dispatched from the union halls each time a worker is sent to the job site, whether one day or hundreds of days. It counts as a job for the purpose of the banner. Despite the success of creating effective vaccines for COVID-19 in such a short time, the nation is now facing a second challenge, ensuring that every eligible to receive vaccines feel comfortable getting vaccinated when it's their turn. Rail Authority Chief Executive Brian Kelly defended the worker count as a valid measure of progress, saying the authority has been doing it for years. Nonetheless, the ongoing employment on the project is just 20%, what the banners say. The Rail Authority currently has about 1,000 carpenters, ironworkers, operating engineers, and other on-hand hats at various construction sites stretching 119 miles from Madeira to Wasco. That is down from 1,117 in November. Construction companies have laid off some workers because the state does not have enough land to build on. The project's history of problems has forced the state to spend a lot of money that does not go to hourly workers, but rather for consultants, design changes, claims filed by contractors for delays caused by the state rail authority, and much else. The employment needs to be viewed through the prism of disadvantaged communities in the Central Valley and the economic malice. Rail Authority documents, however, indicate the project is not a very strong source of hourly jobs for its large rate of spending. An internal report which was obtained by the Times noted that the construction program has generated a total of 3.9 million hours of craft labor between 215 when construction began and then at the end of February. The average direct pay, health coverage, pension contributions, and other benefits to union labor run about $66 per hour, based on interviews with union officials and on the master labor agreement for Southern California. It means that the hourly workers have received about $265 million of the $6.1 billion that has been spent on construction, representing just 4% of the total $8.1 billion spent on the project. The Labor Department, the labor portion is even smaller, which is at 3%. The $265 million is less than what the Rail Authority spends every 3 months. Every public workers project is unique in its contracts, construction pace, and engineering, but in broad terms, the high-speed rail project appears to generate fewer jobs than others. The largest state highway project, the $2.1 billion widening of Interstate 405 through Orange County, spends $1 million per day and has 1,000 unions on the site, according to figures provided by Orange County Transportation Authority. By comparison, the bullet train spends about $3.5 billion per day and had 997 jobs in February, the same smaller of jobs for the 3 times the spending, according to the rail authorities and recent progress report. Another comparison is that the automated people mover trail system transportation hub and new car rental facility at the Los Angeles International Airport. The $5.5 billion project is being built in 4 years, resulting in a burn rate of $4 million. Being built It's employing 3,450 workers, more than triple the employment relative to the spending rate of the bullet train. An exception is the Metro's People Line extension. The massive $9.5 billion website Subway project it has 656 workers, and its average spending rate over the 9-year schedule is 2.8 million per day, resulting in a slightly lower employment rate than the bullet train. The construction reports say underground projects typically do not require a list of hard hats and bear high equipment costs with tunnel boring machines. Kelly, the rail chief, said the bullet train project, despite the recently layoffs, has added many jobs in the last 2 years and will now move to 100,700 to 2,000 in the next 5 years as it moves to full speed construction. California officials have long justified the bullet train on 4 key attributes: a high-capacity alternative to California and air travel, reduced greenhouse gases, large-term economic development. Sorry. California officials have long justified the bullet train on 4 key capacity alternatives such as car travel. Okay, I'm trying to read where I left off. An exception to Metro's Purple Line extension, and it has 656 workers and its average spending rate. Okay, read that. I do remember Bear. California officials have long justified the bullet train in 4 high-capacity tunnel cars travel, reduce gases, long-term economic development in the Central Valley, and lots of California. In its 212 business plan issued the year the legislation voted to approve the start of the construction of the rail authority, claimed that the Los Angeles and San Francisco segment would create up to 1.25 million jobs per year of the employment during construction, which translates to more than 50,000 workers over 21 years of building. Those projections are now seem widely optimistic. U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg has praised the California Platform or Train project and recently asserted the Biden administration Biden's infrastructure would plan to create 19 million jobs, a claim that critics say would vastly easier. boost the infrastructure will create jobs, and claim the critics say it was vastly overstated. Such jobs claim as part of the selling many government programs where they are $1 million hardware projects and railroads. Private railroad company Texas Central has signed a $1.6 billion contract with Kiewit Infrastructure, South Kuwait and Mass. The electrical construction MAC for the Department of Core Electrical System has proposed high-speed rail from Dallas to Houston. During the 6-year construction phase, the proposal train project is expected to generate 17,000 direct jobs. The project will utilize materials worth seven. I got you. I got you. During the 6-year construction phase, the proposal train project is expected to generate 17,000 direct job opportunities. The project will utilize material worth $7.3 billion from U.S. firms across 37 states. And if I do repeat, forgive me. Private railroad company Texas Central has signed infrastructure as contract to contract with Kuwait Infrastructure, South Kuwait and Massachusetts. Electric construction MAC for the deployment of core electrical system for a proposal high-speed rail project from Dallas to Houston, USA. The scope of the contract covers the employment of systems such as safety and systems element, signaling, and communication equipment. Texas Central stated that these trains may not be a significant part of the element. The scope of the contract covers the deployment of systems such as safety systems and elements of signaling and communication equipment. Texas Central stated that these systems are a significant element of the N700S Shinkansen technology. The new project will be modeled on the Japanese Tokido Shinkansen high-speed rail system, which is run by the Central Japan Railway Company. The selection of the system was driven by its status as one of the safest and most punctual train system in the world, noted the rail company. Texas Central CEO Carlos Aguilar said Kuwait and MAC are continuing leaders in installing complex large-scale electric systems and have long track records for delivering high-quality rail system safety and effectively. So the West Coast heat wave is killing people and animals. Scientists say 1 billion small sea creatures have died from these record temperatures. Researchers measured the temperatures on the shoreline rocks and found them to be as high as 112 degrees. This cookied alive mice. But researchers measured the temperature on shoreline rocks and found them to be high as 122 degrees. They cooked alive many oysters, mussels, crabs, which will significantly harm business for selfish farmers. In Sacramento, officials are warning that the river will become so hot that nearly all the endangered salmon species could be cooked up to death in the water. We already know that the heat kills humans too. The final number of the heat-related deaths has not been tallied as the heat continues. So what's causing this, right? Well, scientists say the conditions like these were not expected for weather models until the end of the 21st century. They have been studying the point at which the human body cannot serve, called the wet bulb condition. This is the point at which humidity and heat together make it possible for sweat evaporation to cool the body. Well, bulb occurs when relative humidity is at 95%. The temperatures temperatures are at least 88 degrees Fahrenheit. Under these conditions, even healthy humans can't overheat and die. Even healthy humans can overheat and die. At this point at which the humidity and heat together make it impossible. Okay, I'm just going back to where was causing this. Scientists say the conditions like this were not expected from weather models until the mid-21st century. They've been studying the point at which the human body cannot survive, like the wet bulbs condition. That is the point at which the humidity and heat together make it impossible to sweat evaporation to cool the body. The wet bulb occurs what relative humidity is about 95%. Of temperatures that are at least at 100. The research, which was supported by the National Ocean and Atmospheric Administration, a government agency as known as NOAA, acknowledges that we have been dangerously close to wet bulb recently, but a recent press release acknowledged that some of the locations have already reported combined heat and humidity extremes and humans survivability. Some of the residents lit up the night sky on 4th of July, making it Independence Day again, ignoring weeks of pleas and threats from city and county officials to not set off illegal fireworks. The full scope of the evening's explosive festival is not available yet, but the first batch started first batch of data is a mixed bag. So the fire department responded to 20 fireworks related accounts and July 4 for the most leading for the holiday. The full scope. The San Jose Fire Department responded to 20 fireworks related incidents on July 4th for the month leading to the holiday. He filed fireworks related includes on 4th of July for a month leading up to the holiday. Residents filled 1,644 reports about fireworks. Hand me a blast. We can still be friends. San Jose Fire Department responded to 20 fireworks related incidents on July 4th for the month leading up to holiday. Residents filled 1,644 online reports about fireworks. Was significantly lower than 6,601 filed for the same period. Significantly lower than the 6,601 filled for the same time period in 2020, but San Jose Fire Department spokesman Erica Ray said that this year's data is primarily and just subject to change. She added that no firework related facilities would help us. The initial, but the department does not yet have. Let's go back to this one. That significantly lowers the 6,601 filed for the same period in 2020, but San Jose Fire Department spokesman Erica Reyes said that this year's data is preliminary and subject to change. She added that no firework-related families occurred on July 4th, but the document does not yet have details on injuries. The initial figures suggested that some of the San Jose residents listened to the weeks of warnings. Tuttle told initial figures suggest that some San Jose residents listened to the weeks of warnings may not set off fireworks over the weekend, but some officials were discouraging that educational campaign by multiple agencies seemed to miss large mark. Tuttle told San Jose Spotlight that the crews responded to several fires in El Viso, but he noted the fireworks apparently fairly widespread though through the city. Turtle did not express much optimism. The officials will have more luck they'll have more luck curbing fireworks next year. Tesla Burkett, a seasonal fire for Cal Fire in California unit, did not have a preliminary idea on complaints, but she has said that um, that San Jose Spotlight, that county law enforcement only issues couple citations, but the big success was that the firefighters were able to keep complaints. But she was told by San Jose Spotlight that the county law enforcement only issued a couple citations. The big success was that the fireworks were able to keep blazes contained to under 0.1 acres. And how many fireworks went up in the sky on July 4th is unclear, but it was enough to cause a spike in the air pollution in San Jose, worsening the air quality index for visitors. Video shared on Twitter shows dozens of multicolored explosions across the San Jose skyline, and on social media, some residents and officials vented against the display. San Jose was not alone in breaking the rules this year. Residents reported illegal fireworks used throughout most of Northern California and the Bay Area, said Daniel Berlant, Assistant Deputy Director of Cal Fire. Fire departments in Contra Costa County reported that illegal fireworks may have started several fires. Law enforcement needs to make good threats to punish people who broke fire ordinances. Ray reported that the San Jose Police Department issued 10 California citations and seized approximately 550 pounds of fireworks. SJPD did not immediately respond to a request for a comment. Local departments can take weeks or months to submit fireworks-related data to the state, Berlant said, but last year's saw a higher than usual number of emergency calls for medical aid than fires due to fireworks. Law enforcement confiscated 280,000 pounds of fireworks statewide over the past fiscal year that ended July 30th. Berlant said that one instance that law enforcement seized 80,000 pounds in the course of 2-weekend period along a popular border route between California and Nevada. He added that the total almost seized will grow as California departments report in. Now, on to Uber. People ordering Uber and Lyft rides are getting a shock when they see the prices. Fares have skyrocketed recently, as reports say the cost bumps will most likely be around for the next few months. People ordering Uber and Lyft rides are getting a shock when they see the prices. Fares have skyrocketed recently, as experts say the cost bumps will most likely be around for another few months. Sorry. One woman's Facebook post said that she paid $28 for an Uber ride from Fullerton to John Wayne Airport. Her return trip from the airport to Fullerton cost her $109. Around blames the high prices on a surge in a ride demand as a shortage of rideshare drivers. Pandemic restrictions are easing, and more people are getting vaccinated and heading out, he said, pumping up demand. I like to see that. In the meantime, many Uber and Lyft drivers have not gone back behind the wheel. Uber demand jumps as delivery grows, ride-hailing covers. Uber saw a record demand in the first quarter as its food delivery business grew. Ride-hailing began to see some recovery. Uber did not respond to requests for comment. A spokesperson for Lyft acknowledged the rise in prices and says the company is working to attract more drivers to the platform. Analysts expect more rideshare drivers will be drawn back to their cars, and the prices should settle down by June. By June or July. Hopefully next month. In my case. Alright, now on to VTA and them abandoning that light rail expansion. The scathing commentary on Valley Transportation Authority light rail system comes from a report called Inquiry into Governance of the Valley Transportation Authority, issued by the Civil Grand Jury of Santa Clara County in June 2019. 2 years later, the project bringing light rail to Eastridge continues chugging down the tracks, and VTA spent over $175 million of the estimated total project cost of $615 million, with completion estimated sometime around 2027. VTA has rebadged the project from Capitol Expressway Light Rail to Eastridge to BART Regional Connector. The renaming seems to serve two purposes. It affiliates the project with the popular and farebox efficient BART, which covers over 60% of the system costs for fares versus 7% of VTA light rail, and don't know that word. We'll just say separates it from an obsolete transportation technology. Why does VTA insist on moving the project forward? For one, powerful political forces continue to support it. The project provides years of employment to members of construction unions. Those unions in turn provide resources for their favored politicians. It could be political suicide for labor-supported politics to support canceling such a lucrative project. A second argument in support of completing the Eastridge Light Rail extension is one of equity. It is justifiably claimed that East San Jose has been largely ignored by the political powers that be. They have lavished favors and funds upon their cronies in West San Jose and downtown San Jose, parks and streets maintenance commission appointments, public transportation, public safety, to name several. In the name of equity, it is imperative that Eastridge Light Rail project be completed. It has been over 20 years since the proposal of Measure A 2000 funds, which specifically funded the extension. It's about time that VTA fulfills its promise to the residents of East San Jose. Here, however, is the issue, according to this article anyway. The issue is that Eastern Light Rail provides no significant benefit to residents of East San Jose. In fact, it is more likely to be detrimental to their quality of life. Construction will cause considerable disruption for nearby residents. Upon its completion, the tower supporting the above-grade portion of the extension will attract graffiti, homeless encampments, overhead transportation structure tend to do. Capitol Expressway will permanently lose 2 lanes, one on each direction, increasing congestion by up to an estimated 90%. And creating access problems for vehicles trying to enter the expressway. The increased congestion will spew additional pollution into the environment. Worse, projected riderships does not justify the extension. It is quite probable that it will be allowed to suck subsidies from VTA for a while, only to go the way of the Almaden line, which shut down over a year ago. But the equity claim is also an empty argument. The East Ridge Light Rail extension is inequitable as it comes. It's true that VTA will invest $500 million in San Jose. In East San Jose, however, the investment will yield significantly increased congestion in the area and additionally add an additional quality of life degradation. Meanwhile, as part of Measure B 2016, VTA earmarked $750 million for expressway improvements of Almaden, Central Foothill, Lawrence, Montague, Santa Monica Expressway, as well as Santa Teresa Hale Corridor in South Santa Clara County, and the Oregon Page Mill Corridor in North Santa Clara County. And of course, Measure B also includes funding for improving Capitol Expressway between the I-680 Capitol Avenue East San Jose. Communities will be able to sail through that 1/2 mile stretch before getting bogged down for the remainder of their southbound journey on Capitol Expressway. A well-run organization would grit their teeth to pull the plug on the project, but not VTA, because as the 2019 Civil Grand Jury report implies, VTA is not a well-run entity. Really? They could have told me that. It is one that veers from one financial crisis to another. The sentiment is echoed by the grand jury report of 2009, which proclaimed, quote, the more one learns about how VTA executives its mission, the lower the confidence level its board ability to manage the agency, and the 2003 grand jury report stating, quote, the VTA board has not reacted to the present budget problems with diligence, has depleted financial reserves, and has borrowed against future tax revenues rather than resolving an ongoing operational deficit. Three separate grand jury investigations over the 18 years reached the same conclusion. VTA's governance structure should be changed, yet nothing has changed. It is time for Santa Clara County residents, especially those of East San Jose, to send a message to their representatives and to VTA management. The East Ridge Light Rail extension must be abandoned because it is a waste of money and damaging to our community. So now, on to our lovely pets. If you have pets, this is your story. And I gotta have some cutesies in there, right? So, is it good for you to sleep with your pet? Research shows that it can be. We try to create a train. Oh, okay, I'll leave that out. This is, for some of you know, I do take it from a YouTuber I follow, so I'm gonna leave that dog out. Anyways, this person tried to train a dog to sleep in its own bed, but that effort was a bust. The dog sleeps next to his owner like a terrestrial, or we'll call it alien, that he is. It turns out that it could be for the best. Research from PetMed shows that people who sleep with their pets have more relaxed sleep, less insomnia, and fewer nightmares. It is just like how our children sleeps with stuffed lovies, meaning the person. There are potential risks of sleeping with pets, such as the risk of they may spread diseases such as ringworm or ticks, but the risk is the same when you play or sit with them. Now, on to environmental climate change. A new report from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency reports harrowing consequences if the climate emergency for the U.S. is left alone. Actually, this is not a new report. The EPA admitted this report was ready in 2017, but delayed by the Trump administration White House. Geez, I wonder why. Well, if it's here now and it's not happy news, the report paints a picture of a planet in crisis, and for the first time attributes this to human behavior. Allow us to sum it up. We are energy hogs and consumers pigs, and the planet is heating up as a result. Kind of like a zit. Coastal flooding is rampant. Arctic ice is thinning. Ocean temperatures are at record highs. Wildfire and pollen season has started earlier every year. Heat waves happening 3 times more often than in the 1960s. And if this news wasn't shushed under Trump, it's being shouted under Biden, as it underlines the country's need for new and greener infrastructure. The EPA launched a website to educate the public about how this affects us all. Dumping ground. So, in its latest attempt to clean up growing blight across the city, San Jose leaders plan to levy hefty fines against those who might decide to illegally discard unwanted trash, materials, or even furniture on the side of roadways. The San Jose City Council on Tuesday night is expected to approve and increase its illegal dumping fines to $10,000 for the first and subsequent offenses. The city's current fines for illegal dumping are $2,500 for the first offense, $5,000 for the second offense, and $10,000 for the third. The proposal crafted last month by Jimenez and Perales has support from at least 5 of the 11 council members, but most residents worry that the move could disproportionately harm low-income residents, including those who are unhoused. Although San Jose has long struggled to curb illegal dumping and clean up its growing number of homeless encampments across the city, the issue ballooned during the pandemic as agencies halted abatements and many staff were redeployed from their primary jobs to other pandemic-related duties as public as people drive by encampments and see trash accumulating. Some have apparently felt more liberated to dump their own junk onto the piles. According to San Jose official, there's about 200 known homeless encampments and illegal dumping sites across the city, yet only 10% of those are inspected and cleaned up weekly, a routine that would be needed every site in order to keep the city truly clean, officials stated last year. Since November 2017, the city has issued 89 citations for illegal dumping, according to the city spokesman Jeff Scott. City leaders hope that by quadrupling the fine amount the first offenses, residents will be deterred from taking part in illegal dumping in addition to increasing the fine amounts. The council members have asked the city attorney to consider doling out monetary rewards to residents who report illegal dumping tips that lead to a citation and fines. Mayor Samuel Ricardo and council members Dev Davis and Palm Foley are all backing the proposal, which also is asking the city to do more to raise awareness about options residents have to disposal items that require special handling, such as using the city's free junk pickup program. Sorry, let me see something. Ooh, pretty sunset. Uh, 219 San Jose State University found that while 85% of the residents living in single-family homes known about the used and the city-free pickup programs, only 50% of the rental properties, despite the support from the city leaders, the proposal to hike up fees has garnered mixed responses to residents. Now, on to stimulus. The U.S. Department of Treasury released a new spending rules on Monday for the $350 billion indirect flexible aid to states, counties, cities, and tribal governments, which was issued as a part of the Americans Rescue Plan. The state and local coronavirus fiscal recovery fund notes that the local and state governments may use the funds for direct assistance to households and populations facing negative economic impacts due to COVID-19. In its interim final rule, the Treasury Department wrote that the cash assistance grossly exceeding the prior federal stimulus check of $600 and $1,400 would be outside the scope of eligible uses under the ARPA, the law, and could be subject to recoupment. The Treasury Department also specified who might be eligible for financial assistance, narrowing the parameters to those who have experienced unemployment or increased food or housing insecurity, or is low or moderate income, experienced negative economic impacts resulting from the pandemic. Some states already issue stimulus checks. Residents of some states already receive additional stimulus money this spring from their state for assistance. For instance, California issued a $600 one-time payment to households who made below $30,000, which I'm one of them, and those who missed out on prior federal stimulus funds because they have an individual tax identification number instead of Social Security number, according to a press release issued by Governor Gavin Newsom's office. Maryland, Colorado, and New Mexico also issued payments for taxpayers who met certain requirements. If your state opts not to use their funding for direct cash assistance, you might have more money coming your way in 2021. CNET reports, although neither of Joe President Biden's two economic stimulus bills indicate additional stimulus checks, which they're working on. Democrats in both the House and Senate have pushed for additional stimulus payments. Additionally, new legislation could include a federal minimum wage hike, permanent child tax credits, extended federal unemployment assistance. President Biden is pounding the pavements to promote his infrastructure plans that did not make it into the bipartisan agreement. The Americans' Job Plan was a non-starter for the Republicans due to its price tag, so it was broken up into smaller bipartisan agreement, but the parts that were left behind are still a priority for the president. His plan is to play nice with the bipartisan bill and then push the full shebang through the shebang by budget reconciliation, which would not require bipartisan support. President wants additional stimulus of $600 per month per person between now and the end of the year. That's what I heard. I haven't actually seen the article, but that's what's going around, as well as permanent tax credits. He also wants to invest in sustainable technology that will also fight back climate change through tax credits for businesses and consumers who invest in these areas. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell calls the reconciliation plan widely inappropriate and says that he is ready for a hell of a fight. Contrary to what he said earlier today too. So note, at $600 times 12, if we get it for a year, it equals out to $7,200. If we give it 600 at 6 months, that's 3,600. So which one's better? Comment below. So getting jury duty is no longer considered a drudgery. Courts say that fewer people are trying to shirk their civic duty when called upon. A jury consultant told Axios that in a normal year, appropriately 25% of people trying to get excused from jury duty. Recently, the number has dropped between 5 to 10%. Why the change? People want to participate in the change that they want to see in the world, which with mass interest in the George Floyd trial, citizens realize that their opinions matter and want to get involved. Noble as it is, this could make it harder to find jurors that do not have an agenda. Alright, so now on to you now. So on my main account, which is hashtag DRRCKEARLE10, right now I have 449,046 diamonds. I have $44.90 in my cash value. My current crown, I need 100,749 more likes by July 31st in order to maintain my crown. I'm shy of 58.53 points in order to get my next level, which would be 144, and I'll get 1,000 bonus bars. I have 25,478 coins in my account, and right now currently the prop chest is 11,433, and I'm hoping to open it on Saturday. So if we can get at least close to 20,000, 17,000 minimum, but 20,000 would be awesome. And so my top 3 fans are Paige, Beatrice, Linda Garcia, and Yaneth Alone. And so currently I have 961 fans. I have 383 fans, or I am, or whatever, okay. And on Mimith, I have 106,810 diamonds. Cash value is $10.68. And that one I'm at 98,950 more crown by July 31st, and I'm at 0.196 to level 55 plus 30 bonus bars. Coins, I have 23,832. So top fans on that one is George E.C., John Chapman, and Linda Garcia. That one I have 529 fans, and fan of 182 people on that one. So prop goal. Once we reach level 80, which is the level that broadcasters will get a prop chest in your account. The first 500 needs to be getting before the prop will technically open. Not to give coins, but to open to fill, like a bank account, kind of like a deposit. Once you reach 2,500 coins the first time, I will definitely open it. Once we reach okay, so if base my broadcast schedule, which changes constantly, and well, some of you know that. Sunday, I can do a full broadcast. Even I don't know what time I will do a duel. because some of it might have to be live, some live and some sleep. But I do have so I think Monday, Tuesday I am 12:30 to 9. Wednesday I want to say I'm 10 to 6. No, I'm off Wednesday, sorry. And Thursday I'm 10 to 6. You know what, I think I wait, oh, I'm stupid. Okay, so Sunday I'm 10 to 6. Monday I'm 12:30 to 9. Tuesday I'm 12:30 to 9, and I'm off Wednesday. Thursday, because holiday hours. Thursday I am 8 to 4:30, so I'm opening. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or sorry. Sunday, Monday, normal broadcast. Tuesday night it's gonna be totally Sleep Squad. Tuesday. I'm sorry. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday normal. Wednesday off, which is normal. Thursday, which is the 22nd, will be Sleep Squad the night before, and then I'm off Friday, Saturday. So I'll have at least 3 good days of actual broadcasting, and the rest are just somewhere in the middle. I'm doing that right now because I haven't sent out the sample yet. Okay, so current update on vacation. Okay, so right now we're still waiting to see where the stimulus is coming from Congress. My opinion is because they're so close in passing it, they're trying to get it passed before our representatives go to vacation, which I don't think they need one, since they're bad students. I would say that the stimulus gets passed, both bills, in sometime in August, even though they're saying we won't get the stimulus until September. So with that said, there will be no Arizona. I am staying home for my 2-week vacation. We will see what happens with the hotel if I get a hotel. I did want to hang with a fellow broadcaster I know and do a live stream from Monterey Bay Aquarium, which would be tight. I could actually wear my YouTube mask. But with that said, let's put that aside. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, we already made plans for next year to make it happen. And another update, I did see a article on SJ Pride. They are going to do that this year, so the more information I get on it, I will definitely update a particular person or 2 persons for this story and let you know what's going on with that. But I don't have that currently in one of the stories yet. I'm just trying to go down here. So my horoscope, because I'm Capricorn, for Friday would be: make your dream vision a reality, Capricorn. You've got everything you need to push ahead with your ambitions. Yeah, right. As the harmony bringing Libra moon aligns with your ruler, grounded Saturn, the energy allows for you to share your talents on a public scale, making it an ideal day to network or apply yourself work-wise. Yeah, I'm off, so hello. Your increased visibility is seen in a new light by others in your field. Even I know my boss did mention something, but I told him no. So, yeah, actually I did have that in the other one. Yeah, I don't have any sports on this one. But anyways, if you like this video, please give me don't give me that. Give me a like, give me a share, give me a sub. Share it to your friends if they're interested in the stories I've posted today. As soon as I have more information, I will post another YouTube message. I have at least, I think I'm up to 7 stories already. And hopefully one of them will have the current stimulus package in it. But for right now, I don't have any information. There's rumors they want to do 2,000 until the end of the pandemic, or they want to do 1,000 for 6 months. So, you know, we'll see what happens. And I will be live later on YouNow, on both YouNows. So hashtag DRICKKEARLE10, hashtag Mammoth _44890. Hit me up on IG at Derek Hurley 4040. Facebook, just search me. And forgive me, there are some that are blocked. There is some that are open. But the one I'm on is I want to say Naked Kid 1974. I think is the one that I have most people on, or at least the ones that I'm close to. But if you find me and you get one that's open, go ahead and give me a friend request. I will definitely, if I know you, I'll definitely add you. But for right now, this is the end of this YouTube. If you like it, like I said, smash that like, sub, share, and I'll see you next time.